explanation vid here of my piece, As Within, So Without, aka Mushroom Man, just to make it simpler for the shorts title and stuff like that, not to take up so much room. But essentially, the most beautiful thing about art is, you can kind of interpret it how you want, right? So, I could show this piece to 100 people, and I'd probably about get 100 different explanations of what people think is going on and how they see it, right? And that's really the awesome thing about art that I love, is that it's multifaceted in that sense that everybody sees different things in it. So it really is kind of alive in that sense. I love that it brings out different things in each people's brain, essentially. But to explain the meaning behind it, for like the reason what it comes out of my brain, when it means to me. Again, and here's the cool thing: just because you see it and it means that to you, doesn't mean that's wrong. But this is just as the creator, what it meant to me. And again, that's the beautiful thing about art: you can interpret it how you want, and that's not wrong, right? So what this essentially is, looking back on it, this is something I drew straight out of my subconscious mind. I started with a blank piece of paper, and I'll pop the time-lapse video up now. It's only a few uploads back at this point. That's essentially how 95% of the time I draw or paint. It's just straight out of my imagination, blank piece of paper, blank canvas, whatever comes out, comes out. And then I can kind of look at it afterwards and say, okay, yeah, this is what this meant, and this, and I kind of do mold it and think about it along the way sometimes too. So clearly that is a representation of myself there. Cutting, ripped up. That's, I'll pop a video up of my physique. So that's where I can see clearly the inspiration came from. And health is wealth, my people. So healthy mind, healthy body, healthy mind. They're all, the brain's housed inside the body, right? So it's a win-win when both improve, or you improve one, it improves the other. As far, let's just start with, I got the curly hair, the body. So the person's me, essentially. But again, to you, it doesn't have to be. But again, I'm explaining for me. So essentially, you kind of see the flesh, and then as we get up closer to the top of the face there, you see it's actually turned into more of a skeleton, and that's kind of more just maybe purely aesthetic, but it also, the shadowness of it, the darkness, does really make the third eye pop out. So you'll see a lot of my art, the regular two eyes will be smaller, and then there's normally a big third eye, or a lot of emphasis on the third eye. And the point of that third eye up there is kind of just representing, we do have the third eye in our brain and stuff like, stuff like that. You can do a lot of research on that kind of stuff. So it's basically just vision, goals, dreams, that kind of stuff, but it kind of represents the brain, as far as like specifically this picture and some of my other things too. It's kind of like the higher self, like again, your visions, your thoughts, your goals, your wants, all these things. So essentially, as we look here, and again, I don't specifically know where the mushroom aspect came from, and it kind of looking at it, back now, it kind of looks like my person's whole body there in the picture is kind of coming out of that earth below him as a mushroom growing up off of it, just a big one, right? So a big growth. But so the third eye, if you see coming out of the third eye, the design there at the very top, you do see the brain peeking out as the mushroom rips open, as that flower blooming out of the brain / out of that third eye is ripping through the mushroom and ripping out in the middle of the brain there. Okay, that flower. Now, what's that representing? That is representing my goals, my dreams, my visions. That's representing kind of my brain, that kind of thing, my goals, right? Now, we look down at the bottom of the picture. It's like a globe down there. It's a world, aka like we're creating our own world, right? So you see all the way to the right side there is dirt. So, and you see like the outline around the flower, the outline around both of my hands, and the outline that's going around the little earth section that has the grass on it. That's essentially my power, our power, the guy's power there, the creating energy there. And that's why it's not fully taken over that earth yet, because it's in process. So again, as you see the flower on top of the head there, coming out of the third eye, coming out of the mind, coming out of the mushroom, coming out of the brain, and then you also see that same energy field coming out of his right hand that's going to be on your left hand, essentially bringing life to that empty globe, that empty vessel, that empty life down there. You see all the exact same flowers popping up with the eyeballs in them too, right? So it's essentially taking our power there, the thoughts, the dreams, the goals, and we're essentially using our powers, as humans, the co-creators, God has made us, in his image. He is a creator, so we are co-creators, by default, in that sense that we can create. So essentially taking that goal, that vision, and creating it down there, because that's just an empty blank slate of an earth. But then you see putting my powers to work there, molding, using my time, my skills, my abilities, my energy to bring life to that barren, earth there. It just represents bringing your goals to a reality, essentially. And you see there's more and more flowers popping up, more and more grass growing. And as you see, once again, it is in progression to taking over that complete globe. And then eventually the whole thing will be full of the flowers, aka what I want. And then if we look to the right, up top, that eyeball coming through, what this represents. So that's essentially like, as you see the page is torn, that eyeball essentially is God. Okay, and that's why it's in a complete different dimension out of this, because we have our five senses, but there are things we cannot see and feel, and hear with our five senses. There's other dimensions. So essentially that's why it's completely pitch black dark. I actually used ink for that, so it wasn't like a marker. I think I used like a Molotow marker, so it's completely different medium to really emphasize that that's coming through a different dimension. There's different materials being used. That black, pitch black darkness, that material is not even in the rest of the world of the forefront of the painting. That's all graphite. So that's essentially God, blessing. You see the energy is essentially it's flowing down from that to my guy's left hand there, aka to your right. Okay, so the energy, the power, the blessings, the gift of life, all this, the power to create, it's all flowing down from that God in the other dimension, who's again peeking through and ripping through the page of fabric of this existence. It's coming through into the left hand, aka the hand on your right, again, and then it's flowing out through the hand, the guy's right hand, aka the hand on your left, and then creating what's on the earth down there. So it's using the gifts that God has given us, and then using that gift with our own vision of what we want to bring about in our life, aka the flower popping out of the brain and the third eye, and then transferring that to the other hand and bringing life to life. You know what I'm saying? Bringing our goals, our dreams to reality, essentially, is what this is doing. So it's essentially making the most of the gift of God's given us to create. The power's coming from Him. We're using that blessedness, that energy, the time we're blessed with, everything, right? And we're manifesting that. We're mixing the gift of life, that we can create with our own mental image of what we want, and then putting that to work. And then that's essentially showing manifestation down there on that earth where the flowers are popping up. And the background with just the clouds is just kind of showing like we're in this is like a suspended realm almost. There is clouds, but as you see, there's no like landscape because there's clouds all the way at the bottom. So in this picture, the guy, the mushroom man, he's basically sitting there almost in like a godlike state where, in the beginning there was the Word, the Word was God, or God said, let there be light, or whatever. And you don't paraphrase me on that, I don't know the exact, but God said, let there be light, and there was light. So essentially the guy here, the mushroom man, sitting in that kind of same space, kind of in the unseen world, because this isn't just a regular ordinary dimension where he is creating. So this would be like our higher self, ultimately our unseen spirit, our light being, whatever you want to call it. This is us bringing and molding our worlds to reality. And that world down there, we would be down there on that world or in a whole other film of dimension, and our dreams and goals are becoming a reality, essentially. So a lot of my drawings and paintings, the backgrounds will be something completely trippy like that, or just complete different fabric of existence and stuff like that. So it's not like in the real world, right, essentially just yet, but it is kind of, obviously sci-fi'd out to a different dimension. But again, it all just represents essentially bringing our goals and dreams to reality, and using the gift of life and time and just the blessedness we've got from God to create, and all the other blessings He's given us, right? So that's exactly what everything means, my people. But, I absolutely loved creating it, and had quite a few people. I posted some shorts of this art piece as well. It had quite a few people. I did ask, like, hey, let me know what I should name it, or give me some mentions, or what y'all think it should be named, or let me know what you think it is. And one of them I put. So I had some quite interesting thoughts there, and I'm very, very curious to hear what y'all think it is as well. And I'm probably actually going to go back and put that at the beginning, so you don't hear what I think and then you think. But if I don't, or whatever, or if I do and you're just not hearing, now you skipped over that, whatever, still, I would really like to hear how you interpret this piece, because again, that's one huge thing I love to hear back from other people, is how they interpret it, because I know how I interpret it and what I thought when I created it. But it's just really, really cool to hear how other people interpret, my artwork as well. So anyway, super stoked to finally get this one done, and super stoked to bring y'all the next piece. As always, there's always going to be more content coming in every aspect: health, fitness, lifestyle, travel, mindset, art, everything here. Kyle Gainey Life, baby. This is the channels. No limit to any area specifically, right? So yeah, let me know what y'all think about that. Again, how y'all perceive this, and I will see y'all in the next video. Stay on the lookout, grinding as hard as I ever have, man, to push out content better and better and better, more and more and more. And I'm super excited to keep bringing that to y'all. Appreciate all the love, all the growth. The channel's growing as fast as it ever has. Can't thank y'all enough, and I'm just looking forward to keep, inspiring, entertaining, helping, teaching as much as I possibly can here to bring value to your life who's listening. Peace out, my people. Appreciate y'all watching.